Good afternoon and happy Eclipse Day. Today we are going to be building an ebook sales funnel from scratch. And we're going to have a lot of fun with this because the next 3 days we actually have quite a few of these live streams that are going to have an extra bonus at the end. So today we're going to be building an ebook funnel. Tomorrow we're going to be building a webinar funnel. And the fun of this is by the time we're done with this, you're going to be able to upload this into your account directly through the Click and Play library. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about this one. And if you guys have more cool tools and tricks like this that you want me to build out for you so you have access to them in your Profit Lifter account or your Go High Level account, let me know. I'm more than happy to build these on these live streams. That way you could see it in person and know how to edit everything from scratch and get everything going. So as always, if you're hanging out with me here, give me a like. Let me know where you're joining me from. Tell me hi. Give me a happy Eclipse Day, and we're gonna get rocking and rolling here and having some fun. All right, so first off, what we're going to do is we are going to hop into our account. Let me make sure I've got everything that I need here. I'm looking at, I need to look at our channels real quick. It looks like it's not sharing inside of our group yet. Let me get this in here for you guys. Sorry about that. Looks like we had a little glitch on inside of the software I'm using. I use Restream for all of our live streams. So that way, if you're ever doing live streams, you want to push it out to multiple places. Restream is probably the easiest tool to use. I've been using it for several years now, and I'm a big fan of it. Works really well. There are some issues, but it's still one of the cleanest options that's out there for this. So yeah, that shared it in the group there. All right, so that should take care of that. Let's go ahead and share my screen, and we'll get started here. All right, so we are starting on a brand new, just kind of basically an empty account. There is literally nothing in here. No workflows, no automations, no websites, no funnels, nothing. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building from scratch. And I'm going to show you several different ways while we're doing this that you can start building. If you want to do it on your own, if you don't like our designs, or if you do like it, this is just going to help you to understand how to hop in here and customize it. So first thing, there's going to be a couple different things that we're going to be looking at while we go through this. The first thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to create our landing pages. And then from there, we're going to have to create our forms so people can opt in. And then we're going to connect our ebook, and then set up our automations, connect the automations, all of that stuff. And I'm not going to dive too deep into the content today. I'm actually saving content for next week. Because it's the content, writing content is a pretty complex process. So we want to make sure that everything's set up, or that, but this is going to be a little more stripped down. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new funnel. Let me just show you a couple different options here while you're building something new. Inside of your account, you've got thousands of templates available that are in here, that if there's something that you're looking for, it's more than likely that there is. Why is this being so buggy like this? It looks like crap. Let's try it again. Okay, it's just going to look funny. It is what it is. Okay, so but there are tons of different funnels that you can use, pre-built websites, pre-built pages, things like that you can come in here and customize. So we're going to look for ebook, and we're going to see if they give us any options. So your ebook online orders. Let's take a look at this one and see how this looks. Yep. That is a big page. That's a lot of a page to have for a landing page, but that's all right. We're actually, since I don't see anything that I like in here, we're just going to start from scratch. We're going to do it the old-fashioned way. So we're going to call this click and play ebook funnel and create. All right, and some of the things that I'm going to be working on in here, I've already got a lot of this stuff, a lot of the things already built out in here, like my images, things like that. But I'm going to show you some tricks while I'm going through this as well of how you can incorporate some of this stuff, how to use Canva for these actions that are these things that you're looking at as well. So you notice after we get started, it brings you into the different steps. These are going to be all the landing pages we're going to build here. And as you can see, these are blank, and that's okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to click add a new step. So this one we're going to put, we're going to call this one ebook request, and we're just going to call this slash ebook dash request, and create funnel step. And this is going to drop us right into the builder, so we can start building this now. There are some really cool features inside of the CRM here. One of the things that I absolutely love is that, like, if you're coming in and you're creating, let's say you're creating an ebook, or you're creating something that that you already have a page that you like, all you have to do is come up here to choose existing, and it will let you choose from all of your websites that you have in here. So your pre-built website, your pre-built funnel, you can come in here and actually just select the funnel that you want. This one is nothing because obviously that's the one we're building. But like if you're in your account and you already have a lead magnet in there and you just want to duplicate the page, all you'd have to do is come in here and duplicate that, and it's going to work out wonderfully for you. But for this, we're going to create from blank, because the other thing that we want to do is we want to be looking at, I want to show you guys how to build funnels from scratch. So that way, if you've got a vision or something that you want to accomplish, you'll know how to do that. But as you can see right now, this is just a completely blank canvas. Like you hop in here and you look at it, you're like, where do I start? So the first thing it's going to do, it's going to pop up, it's going to open this add elements. First thing we're going to do is we're going to grab a section, we're going to make it full width, and then we're going to add a row in here. And so this first row, I always like putting a logo at the top so that it just looks clean. I think it looks good. While we're looking at this, for the section is always going to be kind of what's called a boxed layout, meaning that it's going to have certain margins already established in there, and these margins are what it's watching for, like your breakpoints for mobile responsiveness, meaning that like when the website or the landing page hits a certain point, that it condenses it down and puts it into it shrinks it down into the into a mobile responsive view. But like for this, if we were, let's say we're going to put an image in here, and let's say we were putting our logo in here. You notice how it doesn't go all the way to the left or to the right. I don't like that. This is actually something that I would want to, that I'm going to want to put, that I'm going to want to make full width, just because I think it looks better. So you notice down here at the bottom says allow rows to take up full width, and then it puts it all the way over here. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is while you're going through this, while you're working on this, that sometimes when it's all the way over to the right or left, it can still look a little bit off. So you can set up your padding over here for your left and your right. You see how that moves our image over. I just like doing this. I like making sure that the paddings look good, and that everything just kind of fits where it's supposed to. But the other side, like one of the common design things that I do is like we put our section to allow full width, but now we're going to come in here and we're going to click on this column row, and from here I can shrink this down to like 90% and you see how it just automatically gives us space on the side there. So now I know this isn't going to take up the full width across the top. I think it looks good. For the image option, this is where you're going to upload your logo, but the way that we're going to have this set up for you, let's make sure we're looking at the right ones here. This is actually with your pre-built system. We're gonna put this in here so that your logo is automatically going to pull in from the pre-built system. Now, one thing that you have to watch out for is that while you're adding images, the images are going to going to all be in one place at one time. And you can see we got no images in here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to just upload a logo. Let's see, I think I put it under here. Yeah, that looks like a logo. We're going to add that for right now. And that's going to work out just fine. So for now, but you see how it just pulls it in at the full width, making it too high. There's two ways that you can go about editing this, and this really depends on what type of logo that you have. You could set a specific width that you want it to be, meaning that if you want it to be, you could do it this way. Or the other thing that you can do is you can make it so that it fits a certain height. It really depends on the only time this is going to have an impact is like if you're replicating it often. This really shouldn't impact you, but this is how you set your logo so that it doesn't get too big or too small. It just leaves it the same size consistently across every place. All right, so we've got our top header up here, and then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in here and I'm going to design the back end of this. I want to start designing it from the top while we're going through this process. So we've got this, you notice there is background media. We've got nothing here. So we're going to come in, we're going to select an image. So let's upload something, and I think this looks good. This is going to be a background image. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is like while you're going through, while you're working on the design side, when you're putting a background image in, you don't want it to be too complex. A complex background image is going to make it so that it may be too distracting from the words and the content. And I always like to find background images that kind of relate to what we're talking about. But for you guys, this is kind of a generic one, so it is what it is. So background color, we're actually just going to make this a black background. And the reason we're going to do this is we're going to come down here to background image opacity, and we're going to set this to heavy fade. So you notice that blacked out the background, and now we've got it here. So we've got a logo. Next thing we want to do is we want to think about what happens if they click this image. So for this, I'm going to have them go back to the main website. On landing pages, I always like to make it so that they can click the logo at the top and go back to the main website. The reason I like doing that, I've got some stuff pulled up here I don't want you guys to see, so I'm going to close some of these tabs here. So the reason that I like doing that is that it makes it so that like if they're not interested, you could still capture them. But what we're going to do is we're going to grab your custom value in here. We're going to program this in as well. So now when they click this, it will automatically go back to the homepage of your website. Next up. All right. So now we've got our content, or we've got our header there. Next thing we want to do is we want to start thinking about content. And again, you notice how big this is across. This is why I like setting the width down here. Is it just makes it so that you take up more space across the top, but you don't want to go all the way to the edges because it's tough to see. This is going to get a little bit more complex at this point because now we're going to start working on our design. So inside of our column row, you actually have the column inside of here as well, and this is going to be the light pink one. To make it so that a row has multiple columns in it, all you do is come up to your columns and you just hit clone, and now you can see we've got a left side and we've got a right side. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm kind of working this backwards just because it helps me when I'm writing the content and putting the content in here to see how it's going to look. But the first thing, I put that in the wrong one. First thing I want to do is I want to have our image in here. So this is going to be something that you're going to want to manually create and upload. Now, I told you I would be sharing with you some tricks inside of Canva. So let me show you that. And you can see I was actually working on an ebook. So the first thing when I'm designing like ebook covers inside of Canva, I come up here on the home page, just hit ebook. If you can spell properly, it helps. And then make sure it's under templates and not projects. If it's under projects, it's going to pull it from ones that you've already made. And then you can see it's going to give you these pre-designed ones. Some of these look great, like these work really well. Make it nice and easy. Like I like this one. Let's just grab this one, and we're going to hit customize this template. Now, the next thing is that like when you're designing either your landing page or your ebook cover, first thing you want to do is figure out your ebook cover, because this could potentially, like the goal is this is something that you want to eventually drive ads to. This is going to be something that's going to be displayed in your videos. It's going to be on your landing pages. It's going to be in your emails. So this is something that you want to make sure it looks good, and that it's accentuating your brand colors. In Canva, I've already got like our Profit Lifter cover the colors in here. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to change a couple things. The other thing, this is really cool about Canva. So like let's go in here and look. Let's say like let's delete out that image. This is what's called what is that called? Image frame. Sorry, that's what that's called. The image frame is really cool because like you can come into Canva, you can grab the images that you want and just drag them right inside of that image frame, and it's going to put it in there. So let's come up with a topic. If you guys have any ideas for topics that you like, throw them in the chat for me. We can integrate that. But in the meantime, while we're doing that, we're going to call this a blueprint. So we're just going to type in blueprint, and you see that when we pull this up, we've got all sorts of graphics that we can pull from here. I don't see any that makes sense for what I'm doing. Blueprint may not be a great idea for this design. That's all right. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually just customizing this to fit inside of my what I'm looking for. So we're going to say photos, we're going to say business photos, we're going to grab something a little bit cheesy maybe, but I think it's going to work out okay. Now that we have it inside the frame, we're going to make it a little bit, no, that didn't work the way it was open. Double click, there we go. Now we want to make that bigger so we can pull that over. And let's put a title in here. We're going to call it Grow Your Business. How about we call it Business Growth? We need to shrink that. Shrink it, pull that out a little bit, and we're going to call this blueprint. And I'm going to change my font. We're going to go with our traditional fonts for Profit Lifter, our brand fonts. Guide to growing your business, fun stuff. Okay, now we're going to put ebook example. We're going to download this image, and I'll show you why we're going to download it here. So I'm currently using the Canva app. Using the Canva app, I already have one in there. That's okay. We'll call it 2. Using the Canva app, the reason I do is it just keeps it separate. But I want to show you this. If you put ebook mockup Canva in here. This is only available on the online version. So we're going to create a book mockup, and it's going to automatically do that because I have it there, but we're going to continue to the browser instead. Now, with this, you can actually come in and you can grab different guides. So let's grab this one. And from here, it's going to let us put our image right on the top of it. So we're going to upload our previous image that we had just created. Download, there. There we go. Grab it, hit select. All right, and you see how it puts it right there on the top. And if you notice, there's a little bit of white edges on the side. So we're just going to adjust image, and then we're just going to say fill. So that way it fills it all. Save, looks great. I think that's going to work out just fine. And then we're going to save mockup and download. Now we're going to come back here, upload our file. And this is going to be a little bit weird because I forgot to take out, didn't occur to me to create a darn cover for the ebook. Yep, that is helpful, helpful with the design. You notice, like with this one, like if I put this in here as it is, it looks pretty good. But with this image, with the image that it created a lot of extra space around it. And you can see when you hover how it has a lot of the space around the outside. For design purposes, what I like doing is I like taking as much of that extra space off as you can. That way you can fully utilize your the full image inside of there. So what we're going to do is we're going to import the file. I know it seems like a lot of back and forth, but that's all right. So we're going to use a new design, custom size, and the other side, look at this. This thing's huge, 4,000 by 2,800. That's way too big. So we're going to shrink this down also. So we're going to put this at about 1,200 by 840. I think that makes sense. Now, you see how it just automatically puts it in here. To crop inside of Canva, really simple. Just double click on the image, make sure that it's on freeform over here, and we're just going to come drag it as close. I like to leave just a little bit of space on both sides. Just because if it goes right up to the edges, sometimes it gets a little it gets a little odd with how that lines up. So we're just going to shrink this up as much as we can here. Okay, then click done, and it's going to crop the image. Now, the other hack to this is now you'll see that that we still have this canvas behind it that's really big. But we're going to come down here and drag it. You notice as we're dragging it that it's showing us at the bottom down here. It's showing us the actual width and height. So now we know this width is 462. Next thing we're going to do is come up here to Magic, resize Magic, and we're going to go custom size. And I just forgot. I think it was 462, right? I hope so. We're about to find out, aren't we? All right, and now you have two options here. You can copy and resize if you want to leave the original intact, or like for me, I know this. Like I just want to use. I've already got the other image, so I'm just going to redesign this one. Good, my memory worked. We're going to download this. We're going to call this ebook demo, and we're going to call it cropped. That way, I know what it is. We're going to share. We're going to download. And with this one, I do want to make this background transparent. If you don't make the background transparent, it's going to look exactly like this. So we're going to download that. We're going to wait for it to go through a little download dance. Here we go. And now let's come back over here and upload it into our page. So we're going to upload from media, upload our new file. You can see now this is gonna I'm gonna get into a bit of a pet peeve as a designer and somebody who's done this for a lot of years. When you go in and you start like trying to tweak designs, because like you saw just the how long it took, like 3 or 4 3 4 or 5 minutes to go in and just customize this one image and get it, and to be able to even just crop it. So one thing to keep in mind is, like, what's the easiest way to be able to make this work? Hold on just a second. I got an important message here. Okay. So you can see in here that, now you can see again, that your picture is a little big. So we're going to shrink down this height. That's way too small. 250. It's called 500. That looks pretty good. And we may need to adjust this as we go, but you kind of get the point of what we're doing here. Now, next thing we're going to want to do is you are going to need content. So we're just going to drag and drop some of this stuff for right now, just because I know I'm going to need it, and we'll just put it out here. So we're going to put our headline in here. We're going to put a sub headline, and then we're going to let's add a little bit of paragraph text under this, and then from there we are also going to need a form. So we're going to drop this form right there. You don't have any forms yet. I know, we're getting there. So now, okay, now we've got this. We've got this. It doesn't look real spectacular yet, but that's okay. What we're going to do is this. The typography. The other thing to watch is that these are always going to kind of organically come. It's going to choose whatever fonts it wants to. I haven't figured out a rhyme or reason for it. It just kind of happens. But like for me, I know a lot of the stuff we do is like, we use Poppins for the header, Open Sans for the content font. So we're going to change that up. Next thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and just make it look pretty. That way, as we're looking at it, we'll be able to see what we're working with here, and make it look all nice and pretty. All right. There we go. Okay, so coming along, it's taking shape. Now we've got our call to action. We've got our small call to action. We've got our paragraph font. For design purposes, I am going to make this bigger. I think 52 is kind of a good number. It's nice and big. It pops off the page, and so when you're designing a landing page, a couple of the hacks that you want to keep in mind is that, like, if you're using images in the background that actually have details like what we have here, you want to make sure that your text is big enough that it overshadows the stuff in the background. So some of the other things that you can do, you have box shadows here. I'm not a big fan of that. If you want to change your typography, you can do that. But this text shadow, this can actually go a long way when you're dealing with background colors. So we don't want to. Yeah, we don't want the opacity, but that's actually a really cool effect too. That if you ever want to have, if you ever want to like make it look like the text is kind of bleeding through, you can you can make that a little more transparent. Letter spacing, if you want to spread this apart, I like it normal. I don't like when things are too big, except maybe headlines. All right, so we put this one at 52. This next one, I think we're going to go with 28. And for this paragraph text, one thing to keep in mind is, you always want to watch on your mobile view as well. But like you can see down here that, like, if you're looking on your mobile phone and you have to think somebody like holding their phone away from them, I guess old people, but you always want to look at it in mobile view. Make sure that it's big enough, that the font's actually big enough that that they can read it. Usually I find 18 is kind of good standard to start with. 18 pixels is good because a lot of people now, like the majority of people that you're dealing with, are either on a cell phone, or if they're on a desktop, it's going to be a bigger screen. But 18 is kind of that sweet point, that kind of the minimum of that sweet spot for people to be able to read it. without having to zoom. And the name of the game here is as little friction as possible, and creating as little friction as possible. So, and you notice I just deleted our form because, like, as I said that, I realized that we want to, the other thing that we want to do is, instead of putting the form right here, we actually want to create a button for this. So we're just going to add a button right here. And now we've got a large call to action, we've got a sub headline, and we've got paragraph text. And you notice this is all kind of smushed together. So the other thing that we want to do is, I'm just going to add a little bit of padding or margin. Actually, I think I do want to put it in the margin. Yeah, so it just separates it nice and clean. So that just adds a little bit of space in there so that it looks good. Next, and you notice we're just getting all this set up yet. We haven't even jumped into the content yet, because what I find is that if you have it designed first, so there's really two different thoughts, two different schools of thought for creating content, or designing landing pages, designing websites. First one is start with your design first, then add the content around it. Second one is to develop your content and then design around your content. The problem is that, like, if you don't, like, if you're not familiar with it, or you're using like a pre-built template, something like that, a lot of times starting with the design first makes it easier for your brain to understand, like, okay, I see the spot, now let's kind of wrap the text around it. And you can work with AI to manipulate that, and come up with all the stuff that you need for it. Next, but if you're more familiar with it, sitting down and starting to write the content first makes it where you can hand it to a designer, or you could go in, put the stuff in there, and then just design it as you go. So, like I said, two different ways of looking at it. They're both highly effective. It really depends on how you want to do it. I'm more of a design first person, just because that's just how my brain works. So I like to design it first, then go back and work on the content afterwards. So you notice we've got, all right, so we've got everything here. We got click to sign up. Now what I'm going to do is, on the button, I want this to actually open the pop-up, so that when they click this, they go, yes, I want it. They click it, it opens it, it takes them to, and then it pulls up the pop-up. So with the pop-up designer is going to work exactly the same as the other one. We're going to put our columns in here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put headline, maybe. Yeah, there we go. And this one, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and just add some stuff in there. Next thing we want to do is we are going to need our form in here. So we're going to do this. We're going to hop into this form builder here in just a second. But if you're working on it, you can hold Control and click the button, and you notice how it opens up another tab for me with that form builder in here. That's a nice little trick to kind of keeping in order what you need to work on next with it. Now from here, a couple of things that you can do with your pop-up settings. If you click this, it's going to pull up your settings on the right-hand side. You can change your margins, all that. If you want to update your background colors, you can do that. One thing that I'm always a fan of is putting background your primary brand colors in the background. So this one we're going to put brand CV for custom value brand primary. The reason I'm telling you guys this is because, like, when you get this and you start downloading this, you're going to know what these things mean when you look in here and you use it. Because this is what makes this actually automates this, so that when you upload it, it will do exactly what you want it to do. All right, so we're going to put this. We've got that in there. The background color is not going to show anything for right now, because obviously we don't have our custom values in this one, because it's already this is going to be the template that we're using. But for example purposes, now when you click that, it'll pull it up. Okay, so we've got section 1 done. Section 2. Now we're going to come in. We're going to create our second section. This one is now. I've seen some like I've built some that have the landing page or that have the image right there, have the text and work that way. I've built others where we'll come in here and look and have the we'll wait to put the image down here. This is really a personal preference, whatever you like. Or the other thing that you can do is you can split test this later on when you start running ads, you start getting traffic for it. But the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to come up with we're going to give them some compelling reasons on why they should download the free guide. So we're gonna create two columns again. The reason we want to create two columns is I feel that a lot of times it breaks up their view. If somebody comes to a landing page and it's just a wall of text, even with different font sizes, your brain just looks at it like a document, like, "Oh, I don't want to read a document." When people go to a landing page or a website, they're expecting to experience like a landing page or a website. We're gonna change this up. Now, let me show you another little secret here. You notice how when we hover over this column, there's an up and a down button. This actually lets you just swap the different columns that you have in place there. So this one, we're going to make this so that when they're here, they look at it, it's image text. Then we're going to go text image and work it that way. So we're going to have our call to action section there. We're going to put another headline. And then under this one, we're actually going to put a bullet list here because from here, what I want to do is I want to give them compelling reasons of why they should download our free guide. So instead of just going out there and say, "Hey, download the free guide, it's awesome," like we need to convince them. We actually need to sell them on the reason that they need it. And so in here, this is where we may be putting in like what they can expect to get from it, what's going to happen. So now another little caveat inside of this bullet list, you'll notice that it puts everything really tight together. So we're going to call this UVP1, UVP2, UVP, and UVP is unique value proposition. And while we're hopping, man, this is going to take a little longer than an hour, guys. So just bear with me, but have fun. All right. So next we're going to do is we're going to put this at 1.5 so that it puts a little bit more spacing in there. And now you notice we've got a bunch of space over here. So like as we're adding content down here, it's going to we're going to want to reinforce that a little bit. The other thing that works really well on pages like this is like if you've got an as seen on section for your website, like let's say you have that you have stuff that you've been featured on like Entrepreneur, different blogs, different channels, different stations, things like that. This is a good place to put it under the logo or under this first section right here before, or actually under this works really well also. Just really depending on which way you want to go with it. So we're going to, from here, we're going to add another image here. Now, the image that I'm going to use with this one, we've already got our ebook. They've already seen that ebook. Next, I want to speak to them a little more emotionally. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to create a design. And with this design, I'm going to want this to be a little taller. So I'm going to make this the width 250 by 750. That's too much. Let's resize this real quick. Yeah, I think that should work out fine. Resize this design. Man, that still looks big, doesn't it? Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Next, we're going to come to Element, and we're going to type in, we're just going to put in Blueprint, because again, we're talking about Blueprint. We're going to go to our photos, and we're going to see if there's any good photos that would actually be relevant to this. I like this one, actually. The reason I like this is it actually matches our brand design. So this one's 375 by 500. I think I like that size, so we're gonna hop in here. We're gonna make that fit. by 500 because I like that. I like that full image. It makes sense to me. All right. Blueprint image. Share, download. No need for a transparent background on this one. Dump it in our files. And now we're going to come back here. We're going to grab it. We're going to upload from the image. Upload file. Blueprint image. Double click and it puts it right there. And you see, I think that's plenty of space. That gives us plenty of room that we can write out the content, do everything we need there. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to put another button right down here under this. So since if you went ahead and designed this top button, you can actually just clone it, duplicate it, and just drag your button here, so it does the exact same thing. So now we've got our top section, we've got our middle section with our different value propositions. Last thing we want to do, actually, we're going to put two. We're going to go ahead and do the as seen on. So next thing we're going to do is let's add some rows in here. And since I know we're going to be uploading logos, we're going to put this as 4. So we're just going to grab some images and we're going to grab some of our mock-up logos that we have. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Works for me. All right, let's put the fake Tesla in there now. Okay, so this next part, when you're remember, I showed you how to take control of your image size. When you're putting multiple images like logos, things like that, what I like to this is where the height becomes really important. So like let's say for this one, we want to make we just want to make this so that all of them are 75 pixels tall. Now, the reason that I want to do that is because as we come in here and we start adding these different logos in here, it's going to automatically keep them sized so that this is going to be symmetrical across this section, and that's a really big thing. When you're designing, whether it's graphics, graphic design, website, funnels, any of that stuff, one thing you always want to keep in mind for the purpose extra large download, even if there's an extra. Okay, Misha, I'm not quite understanding. Is there a possibility to add other websites just for the purpose of extra large, just for the purpose of the download, even if there's an extra charge? I'm not quite understanding what you're asking there. If you could rephrase that for me, I'd be more than happy to answer that for you. So like as you can see, as we're going through this, okay, we're going to change up this background color. Now, the other thing that you want to do is if you're doing a like as seen on, featured in, things like that, you always want to have a little bit of text on here. But this section should be like minimal in its padding. So we're going to put a sub headline. And we're just going to say as seen on. And we're going to put this left. Put this to 10. Put this to 10. 0. 0. Okay, and you notice what I'm doing is I'm stripping out all of our top padding and margins, and you see how it's just kind of shrinking everything up so that it fits a lot better. It just makes it nice and tight and compact. This makes a lot of sense on sections like this that you're trying to get them to that you want it to sit in there properly, and I think that looks good. I'm happy with that. So the last thing we want to do is we want to put our bottom call to action, and our bottom call to action. We're just gonna do this as a single row. Again, we're gonna put the ebook down here. We're gonna just grab that, drag and drop it. Let's center this one because our text is gonna be centered, and we're gonna add a headline in here. Oh, come on, there you go. Headline, subheadline. Then with this one, I am going to actually beef up this padding just a little, actually quite a bit, because I want this to be something that like they kind of scroll and then they see, oh, there's the bottom of it. And it just adds a little more depth to the page because these pages, these landing pages are pretty short, but having this in there will help with that. And if you want to play around with your background colors, you could do that. But for the example that we're using here, we're going to put our custom value. So that way it's going to be your primary brand color back here. So it really just ties in the brand. Okay. The last thing that we want to do is we're going to grab one more section down here at the very bottom, which is going to be our footer. And this one, I do want to make this one take up full space. Let's add our row. This one, there's going to be at least 2 sides. And let's shrink this down so it doesn't touch the edges. And this one's just going to be paragraph font, paragraph text in here. And we're going to put it over here. And from here, I'm going to put privacy policy and terms of use. Privacy policy should be, if you're using a profit lifter site, should be your domain name / privacy policy. So it'd be domain name.com / privacy policy. But we're going to program this in so that you don't actually have to put anything in. Put this in as the URL. And we're going to have this open in a new window, no follow. And we're going to do the same thing with the terms of use. Oh, getting a little buggy. Anytime you see it going buggy, make sure you save. And sometimes just when you're using any type of builder, whether it's WordPress, whether it's inside your Profit Lifter account, you always want to make sure that you're refreshing these pages because sometimes inside of the cache it just kind of gets filled up there. All right, so privacy policy. Now let's come grab the terms of use. Okay, and again. And that should always be terms. We're going to have it open in a new window. And again, if you're adding this to your Profit Lifter account, this will automatically put that in there. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this a dark background color. Change our text to white. This one, and then link text, I'm going to turn that to white as well. Actually, I don't think there's any text that we need down here. So we're going to keep this one really simple. We're just going to make this privacy policy in terms of use right there. And then I'm going to come down and I'm going to strip out all the padding on this one. So 0, 0. I know it's real exciting watching somebody design a web page, isn't it? All right, we're going to get into the actual automations here in just a second. Oh, come on. Okay, there we go. This one, I don't think I want to go 0. Yeah, I think 10 is going to be fine. Yep. Okay. All right. So that is page 1. We have this. We have this down. Oh, I have 2 other websites that I'm setting up, like blog websites. I don't have any type of automation on them, but would like to offer ebooks on both about credit, debt, and working from home. Oh, okay, gotcha. So one thing that you can do is that, like with these types of ebooks, you can still include these in. on other websites, and that's very common actually. That's how like a lot of SEO work gets done, like advertising on other people's websites. So basically, what you would do is you would just go in and you would share your image and a little bit of content, put a button on there, and then just have it go to this URL for your ebook, and that should take care of that for you. It's actually a pretty easy process. All right, so we've got this first page done. Our home page is done on the ebook request. We're going to save. And so now we need to come back out and we're going to create additional pages. For this next section, I'm going to speed this up tremendously fast because as you can see, just putting together this first page took about 45, 50 minutes of this with me explaining it. So I've already got these pages built out. So we're going to cheat on them. And we're gonna go ahead and just I'm gonna upload the other ones that we already have built out, so that way you've got access to them, because I've got the magic formula for that. So we're gonna come in here. Oh, that's under our forms. Sorry. Come under our funnels, lead magnets. That's not what I'm looking for. Clone, there we go. Ebook funnel. Confirm. So should we learn more about how to design funnels to comprehend this more? I mean, that's kind of what the point of all this is, James, is me showing you how to build funnels. That way, you don't need to know. Like the whole point behind me doing this, James, is pretty simple. The reason that I want to show you guys all of this is I want you to see how it works. So that way, when you're uploading it, if you need to make changes, if you want to customize stuff, you know how to do it. So I'm trying to help you bypass the having to do it from scratch. So essentially, all you're going to have to do is come in, fill out a form, and it'll automatically download into your Profit Lifter account. But I just want, like, if you want to learn how to do that, you can. If you want to lean on the stuff that we're already building for you, that's the whole point of why I'm doing this, is to make it so that you don't have to guess. You don't have to go through and learn it. You can literally just come in and download what we have. But I just want you to understand the concepts, because at the end of the day, this is your business. It's your lead magnets. It's your money. I just want to make sure that you have access, that you know exactly how to tweak it, how to customize it, and use it however you feel like you need to. So that's completely up to you. What I would advise is you can make a lot more money being out there networking and doing this, and then just using the stuff that I'm building for you, which is why I'm building it for you. So, all right, now I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what I was talking about with adding the additional pages. So you can see in here some of the customization was kind of confusing. Oh, yeah, I get that, James, and it can be. This and this could be something that you can come back and refer to anytime. This isn't something you have to do. I'm just showing. Well, I mean, honestly, I'm just trying to fill up an hour, so I have a lot of content that I need to cover. But that's it's all good. So, all right, let's hop back in here. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a new step, because we already got our home page done. So we're going to call this one the download. And so the path is going to be /download. ClickFunnels URL. No, that's if you're importing from ClickFunnels, which you can do. If you have a ClickFunnels account, you want to use it, you can do there. Now I'm going to show you the use existing, because we just imported the lead magnet from the other one. So we're going to use existing, and then we're going to go to the funnel. We're going to call it ebook template, and for the funnel step, we're going to go to ebook download, and we're going to import it from there. And I love this because it's just nice and easy. Now you can see, like, instead of having to go through and just completely build everything, rebuild it, if you ever need to, you can just come in here and grab it, and it's going to work. Now, one of the things that I love doing on these is I love doing a call to action. I love doing a call to action from when somebody takes an action. So thank you for requesting the copy of your ebook. And obviously, that's something you're going to need to change the name of, change that image. This is a button, so the background color of this button is actually going to be your call to action for your brand, which is wonderful. That will work fine. Before you go, call to action. Now, this call to action, this is going to lean into what I've talked with you guys about several times, is having, like, if you're doing consultations, what is the value of them having a consultation with you? You've got to pitch it. And that's one thing to keep in mind. Anytime you're having somebody take an action, you're always pitching that action. So we're going to offer your appointment value, and then you don't have any calendars yet because we haven't done that. But when you upload this, all you're going to need to do is come right here to your calendar, click it, and select what calendar you want, and it will populate it right there, and everything will work out just fine for you, and it will look wonderful, and everybody will be happy, and there will be cheers across the multiverse for you. All right, so that's our download page. So that is taken care of. Now let's go back, and now we're going to start thinking about our now we want to be thinking about our automations and our forms. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, again, since for the sake of time, we're just going to grab this. We're going to grab this automation, and I'm going to duplicate it for you. And then from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through this. So I'm not just saying, it's in there, have a nice life. But again, we have this set up to click to sign up. Now I want to make sure this matches our brand. So the other thing that we need to do is we do need we're going to program your call to action custom value. And let me show you what that looks. So we're going to call this custom value brand call to action. And we're going to use our short code in here and click add color. And now it looks naked, but that's okay. Background color, brand CTA, background color, brand CTA. Okay. And save. And no need to publish it. All right, so our home page and our confirmation download page is done. Let me show you where to go inside of this, because the other side, once they request the guide, you need to deliver it in some fashion. I'm a big fan of having a button on this page here that will allow them to download the guide. So you can see right here, it says sample my free guide now, and we're just going to change this up. Instead of it's yours, because they've already taken the action. Own it. Okay, and then from here, now you're going to want to put where this is housed. Now, this actually gets really easy, so don't stress about that part. So what this is going to look like very simply is inside of your Profit Lifter account, you're going to go to settings, and we're going to come to media in the back. We're going to open the media library, and then you're going to upload your lead magnet. So after you've created your lead magnet, they've got an ebook in here. I don't think I have an ebook, but that's in here. But we're just going to grab this image just for the example. You're going to right click, hit get link, and click back. Now, when they click this button, it's going to open that in a new tab. So we're going to click save, and I want you to see what this looks like in real life. So we're going to practice. We say, hey, great. They click the download your free guide, and you notice it opens up. So storing stuff inside of your media folder and using it to redirect when they click is 100% possible. 100%, and it works out just fine. And it'll go from there, and then it'll have your calendar on there, and it'll look beautiful and all the masses will cheer for you. Okay, so we've got everything set up on our landing pages except for the content. So you're going to be good to go there. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to tie in, we're going to create your form, and then we're going to also, we're going to tie in your automations from there. So we're going to come over here to Form Builder. We're going to add a form. There isn't one yet, but that's okay. We're going to create that. Load my sticky notes because I'm going to need that. All right, first thing, one thing to keep in mind when you're creating a form, when you're creating anything that is an action, the more work they put in, the more likely it is that they're not going to opt in. So for like this one, I'm just going to put full name, email address, phone number. I agree to the terms and conditions. I'm actually going to change this up. Where do I have this? Oh, I don't have this. It's saved in a different spot. One second, let me find this. Here it is. I actually have this saved on a, I just have this saved as a guide. So we're going to grab this content right here. And we're going to highlight this, and we're going to come in here, we're going to add this. So by clicking download free guide, I agree by electronic signature to one, be contacted by business. This is where you would want to put your business name in here. We're going to streamline this process for you. So we're going to put the custom value in here so you don't have to do that. And we're going to come in here. I need to make sure there we go. About business services. Okay, so this gets into this is your stay out of jail card. What we're doing with this is we're saying, hey, when you download, you could get a pre-recorded voice, an SMS message on your home phone or your cell phone, dial manually or an auto dialer. Like we can, I think we need to add language about AI. But the other thing, the last part of what we're going to do is we're going to come in here under your privacy policy, and this is going to be like yourdomain.com/privacy policy. But again, we're going to use your custom values for this so we can speed up this process. Let's see, website URL. There we go. /privacy-policy. And then terms and conditions. Same thing, /terms. Confirm. If you don't like how long this is, one thing that you can do that's really helpful is you can come over to ChatGPT and you could say, please condense this without taking the points away. I'm just going to paste that in there because it's kind of long-winded. I don't like how long it looks on the form like that because it almost feels like they're selling their life away for a free download. And this is perfect, actually. So there we go. Okay. To the privacy policy and terms. So the reason I just left that down there so I didn't have to go back in and reprogram that. That's much cleaner. Like I think that's how it should look. Let's take that off so it actually populates in there properly. Okay. All right. And now the last thing we need to do is, okay, Download my free guide. And background color. Now we can't automate the colors on this, so you may need to figure out like what color your brand, your call to action brand is, and you would have to go in there and actually program that in, or just type that in there, and that should take care of that. And let's name the form, and we're going to call this eBook request form. Save. Now we have a form, and we're good to go. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here to automation. So I've got this all tidied up in this nice little handy dandy one automation for you here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to name this, and we're going to call this eBook automation. If for you, you may want to actually title this what ebook it is, because if you have multiple ebooks, that can be really tricky. All right, so the workflow trigger name is, we're going to put ebook form submitted, and then the form is, and we're going to call it, and it's going to go into our ebook request form. Tag, this one, you're going to need to customize this. So for now, I'm going to leave this blank. To add. The reason I'm leaving this blank is this tag should actually be specific for what you're wanting to use it for. So like we called it a blueprint, so I may call it, like if it was mine, I would call it the growth blueprint, or something like that. But this tag is just going to let me know that they have downloaded this. They had downloaded this. So make sure that you add your tags. We're just gonna, for right now, we're just gonna say ebook. That way, if you forget, you still have it in there. But this will, but make sure you title it whatever the name is. Next, we're having it create an opportunity. So this one you're gonna have to customize, and I'll like when it's ready for you guys to do the downloads, I'll have a really short, quick video inside of the resource center. But this is where you're gonna select what pipeline that you wanted to put it in, what stage that you want it to go in, and then what you want to name it. I always recommend that you call somebody who downloads an ebook. They're looking for something. Now it's your opportunity to get in there and figure out what it is they're looking for. Okay, so next we're going to next is going to be the send download. This is going to be the email that's going to go out to them from here. And I believe we've got this actually already built out for you. So sorry, this is all stuff that I already have built. So I wanted to show you guys how to build the first part, but from here we're just we're going to populate things we already have built for you. All right, so we're going to go to marketing. We're going to go to email templates, and this is going to be send download email confirmations. Send download. I believe it's the share. Yep, there it is. Ebook funnel, share. So what I just did here, watch this. And we can cancel that. That's okay. So what I just did is I set up an email template that you could go through and customize. But now you should be able to come right in here and select your template. So all you need to do is go into the email builder, customize your template, and you're going to be ready to go. We're going to click Save Action. Next thing, once they download this, I do have it send them an SMS message. This first one is to wait for business hours, meaning that like I don't like sending people text messages after 8 o'clock at night or until about 9 o'clock in the morning. So you got a very limited window, about 11, 12 hours in there that you can get away with. And this one, like I would be comfortable sending it up until 9 p.m. But anytime it goes after 9 p.m., people get really picky about like not contacting them after that. Even if it's automated, even if they're the ones who did it, it's still something that you have to deal with. Um, and you can see we have this built in, so it's going to send out a text message that says, "Hi, first name, thanks for requesting your free copy of our guide," and then just a little signature. You can customize that. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start a conversation with them based off of them downloading that guide. So from here, this next one, you may want it to wait a couple minutes, you maybe 5 minutes, whatever you want it to be. But this next message, we're going to go none. This next message could be, hey, if you are looking for X, then let's talk. We can help. Whatever. But really, all the whole point of this is they've downloaded something from you. They've gotten an email. They've been through your landing page. They've gotten a text message from you. And what you're doing is you're just prompting you're prepping the conversation. You're just kind of instigating it, taking them from somebody who's downloaded something to actually trying to start a conversation with them and working with them to incorporate that. Then I'm going to wait a day, and then I'm going to add the workflow. This workflow that I would add it to, actually, you don't even need to do that because we have it set up so that anytime somebody comes in, that they're automatically added to your indoctrination sequence. So you don't need to add them to your indoctrination sequence, nothing like that. You can really be done with it at that point. So now what should be happening is they come in, they download their ebook, it creates an opportunity, they get an email, they get a text message. Waits 2 minutes, sends them a follow-up text message, but at the same time, now they're getting your indoctrination campaign, and so it's going into your standard pre-built automation sequences from there. So the ebook's just a really quick, really easy, just nice, short, sweet automation. Get them in there, start the conversation, get going. Now, what's going to happen from here, guys, is like I said, once I was done with this, we're going to make this available inside of your click and play library. I'm going to record a video just like this. That's a lot faster, a lot easier. It's going to show you how how you can download it, add it to your Profit Lifter account or your Go High Level account, and then from there, the steps that you need to take to customize it. So it'll be a much faster, much shorter to the point video. But I wanted to show you guys, for those of you guys who have been asking how to build this automation, this is how you do it. Now you've got your automations, you've got your form, you've got everything right there. The only thing we didn't touch on is content, but we're gonna dive real deep on content next week, because that's just a whole animal in and of itself. This week it's about, let's put together the structure for things. That way you can start using some of the stuff we were talking about last week. Next week we'll get into more of the writing the content and being engaged with it on that side. So make sure you keep an eye out. I'll throw it in the group and let you guys know once this is ready, for you guys to use, and it's all set up and with all the videos so that you can start downloading this, and you can add as many lead magnets as you want to your Profit Lifter account. So happy Eclipse Day. Get out there, go watch it turn dark, and then watch it turn light again in a matter of minutes. It's going to be fun. Looking forward to it. And just PSA, don't stare at the sun. No matter how cool you think you are, you can burn your eyeballs out. So make sure you're wearing your glasses. Enjoy the eclipse today, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. And we're gonna do the same thing with webinar funnels. Since we've already talked a little bit about webinar funnels last week, we're going to dig in a little bit deeper and talk about how to incorporate it into your marketing strategy, more of that side. Today was really just a tangible, like, let's get this click and play automation ready for you guys. But appreciate you guys. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.